For many years in my marriage, I used to think my wife was very stubborn. What I did not realize was that she wasn't stubborn at all. It was just that I was not validating her feelings. And whenever a woman's feeling is not validated and she is doing her best to get her points across, what you will realize is that she will be trying her best to feel heard. And because of that, we men will think that they are stubborn. Many men fail at this. And because of that, they think their marriage is not working or their woman is just, outright stubborn. But this is not the case. I find that out in my marriage. And I started to practice some things that literally changed the whole game in terms of validating my wife's feelings. And I want to share those things with you today. My name is Dr. Samuel Ekunda, and this is Purpose Driven Marriage. If this is your first time watching a video on this channel, please consider subscribing, because this is a channel where we model kingdom marriage and we help you align with the purpose of God for your marriage. Now, let me share these 3 simple practices that helps me to validate my wife's feelings and has completely revolutionized and changed our marriage. Number 1, listen to understand your woman. Listen to understand, not just listen to respond. And I know this can be very hard for us men because we are logical beings. And when it comes to emotions and all of those sort of things, we struggle. So it's not natural, literally, for most men to listen to understand. What's natural is listen to give your opinion. Listen for some logical points that you can just pass across and dish out. So it takes intentionality to be able to listen to understand a woman. The way I do this is I just make it a rule for myself that when she's speaking, I'll just keep quiet. Keep quiet and listening to understand. And when she's done speaking, another thing I do is I regurgitate what she said to her, what she said back to her. I say something like, oh, you mean this? Oh, you're saying that I should do this more. Oh, you're saying that I hurt you. Oh, I'm really, really sorry. And I do that intentionally. See, you don't have to agree with what she said. That's not what I'm talking about. Like you have to agree with everything she's saying. No. That's not necessarily validating her feeling. It's like saying that I acknowledge what you've said. I understand where you're coming. I see you. I feel you. Those words are very powerful. They create a sense of safety, and safety builds intimacy, because women love safety. In fact, it's one of their major needs. So when you validate on her feelings by listening to understand what she's trying to say, it makes her feel safe. It makes her feel like she's communicating with you and you really understand where she's coming from. And this is very, very important. This has changed my marriage. Number 2, acknowledge our feelings before sharing your perspective. Find a way to say, I understand that you're hurt. I understand that you're pained. I see that what I've done, is really, really tough on you. That way alone is just amazing how it works, right? Because it shows her that you get her, that you connect with her. Don't say something like, I don't care how you feel. That's terrible. That is sad. That is bad. Make sure that you, first of all, before you say what you want to say, you acknowledge her feelings, and then share your perspective after. It makes her really, really feel heard. And number 3, respond with compassion. Sometimes not correction. Especially when a woman is hurt, when they are pained. And responding with correction straight away will make you feel like a bad leader. Like you have not heard what she said. Like you've not understood her. Especially when they're hurt and they're pained. I think the very first thing that you have to do when your wife is hurt and pained is to listen with compassion. Respond with compassion. Oh my goodness, I did not realize I did that. Wow, what was I thinking? I'm really sorry. Babe, I am so sorry. And guess what? Whatever she's done, maybe, she has done something that you could really, really suggest some points of improvement, but that's not the right time. That is not the right time. That's the best thing to do at that time is, oh my goodness, wow. Or maybe she's just come back from work from a very long day and all of those sort of things like that. And you're going, I don't care how tired you are, come and give me my food. That's just terrible. Respond with, babe, come. Let me just wow, what a day you've had. Come tell me all about it. That's responding with compassion. That way she feels safe. That way she feels heard. She doesn't feel like a slave that has to come and just whip your next dinner and all of that. You know what I mean? No. She feels heard. She feels safe. She feels, safe in the hands of her leader, of her husband, of the man that truly, genuinely loves her. And that is a game changer. I tell you, these 3 things have changed my marriage. I am telling you for a fact. I won't teach you what is not working in my home. I'm teaching you what works in my home. I love how the Bible talks about in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2, it says, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. And that is not necessarily a scripture just for believers amongst themselves. It's also for husbands and wives. We husbands, especially because we are leaders, we have to love our wives as Christ loved the church. And that means we model what we want to see in our home. Model compassion, not always correction. I remember in the early years of our marriage, I was always correcting my wife. I never really point out the good things that she does. I'm always pointing out the negative things that she does. That's that way I'm not validating our emotion. But when I became intentional, and started to practice, the change them. And I do hope that if you become intentional and start practicing this, it will revolutionize your marriage as well. So feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know whether you've tried any of these things, how you got on, or whether you will try them, or if there's any other point that I did not mention to help validate your wife's feelings. Let me know, because I'm more than willing to also learn from you. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Like the video if you like the video, and I'll see you again next week with another wonderful topic that I believe will be a blessing to you. Take care. Bye-bye.